Mike.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. I don't see. Did it say go live or? Huh? Are you hitting?
Yeah, we rocking.
Okay. Okay, so you saw it. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, we're gonna go with scene number 2.
Got broken up with because I posted this video on my story. Okay, broken up with is dramatic as I was only talking to him for 3 weeks and we went on one date. But after I posted that story, he was so annoyed with me. He basically told me that he doesn't do guy best friends with the girl that he's speaking to, and if he's pursuing someone, he just doesn't really respect the fact.
She was playing in his face. She posted that video to make it look like they were almost a couple. She posted herself, then posed to him, then posed like she was purposely to show who she was out with. I felt like she is waiting. She's in a friend zone.
You think she's in a friend zone?
She's in a friend zone. Yeah, she's in a friend zone. She is waiting for homie, her friend of 6 years, but 6 years is nothing.
Yeah.
As far as friendship, to call a nigga your brother and to be cutting off relationships for him. But you was only dating dude for 3 weeks, so whatever. But yeah, he cut you off because you was playing in his face. You know, you were you're parading dude around. You want to be an item with him, but you're masquerading that in a friendship, and everybody can see it, even through the video. We can see it.
So you don't think there's any chance that he's not in a friend zone? Well, she did say she loves him a lot.
I think he's in a friend zone. No, I think she's in a friend zone.
Yeah,
because if she was like, yo, shorties be going on whole vacations with dudes and don't be posting dude. She's out just at a concert or a show and posted dude. Like, she made it out her way. Like, people don't really post people that they're with unless they trying to be seen with that person. Understand?
Got you.
You know?
Got you.
We didn't catch him in person. You saw that in her story. And it's like, ma, you kind of thirsty. Be good. We all see the thirst. We all see it. I don't know. It could be against me, though.
So, the boundary that dude set as far as he said he doesn't do.
What a boundary. He said it, but I think she just looked thirsty. He just was like, yo, you know what? I got a new boundary. Maybe he just thought about that boundary just that day. As soon as you seen that day. Like, yo, you know what? I'm not going to fuck with thirsty bitches. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, you look thirsty. I'm good.
But as far as
you playing in my face.
You think it's for a woman to have a male friend or a male to have a female friend you think that's a fair boundary?
Listen, I think it's a fair boundary, and I do not think it has anything to do with insecurity. People love to throw that word around. We're going to get rid of that word. It's not about insecurity. It's about what you're comfortable with. We tell people to communicate, then when they communicate, you want to say that they're insecure. It's not. You know what I mean? For me personally, it goes about how long you knew that person. If you knew that person childhood or whatever, and they're a family friend, everybody knows them, whatever, and y'all not really like alone together, and y'all never had any sexual interactions together, fine, you know. But yeah, anything other than that, no. 6 years, bestie.
That's not.
I love
time.
him.
That's not.
You just waiting for him to see you.
So wait, sexual. If she had interactions, then bets are off.
All bets are off. You don't agree with that?
I think I think in some instances, if they've already explored that and that's already out the way, they could be like, all right, been there, done that. We don't.
I mean, because you kind of know, right?
What, sex?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Say what? That's not a been there, done that.
Sex?
What, she gave him dome and it got out the way?
Oh, Jesus.
It don't gotta be dome like a lot of the times when
So
you
you
got
got a couple of back shots from the big homie. Like, what are you talking about? Like now, like,
when
the old sexual partners.
that's a lot of the times when you have male female friendships, it's either a friend zone situation, one person had friend zone the other,
Yeah.
or they had a situation that didn't work out and they kind of decided that they would be better as friends.
Yeah.
So they may have slept with each other, had some type of relationship or whatever, and just felt like it didn't work. And that's why they figured they would be better as friends. But maybe if sex is they know what sex is like with the other person, it's like, all right, we did that already. It's not all that.
Already? Nah.
I heard
if your friend seen my fucking girl naked, then that's not my girl. That's just your girl. Like that's like even if you seen her naked, it's not a friend. The opposite. Like stop playing with people. Like that's playing in people's face. Like stop doing that. Like you masquerading your old work as a friend. Like you just we're not doing that. You know. I went on a date, maybe a little dinner, figured out it was it, and then it was a vibe. That's still a little weird. I'm gonna let that settle in and see. What I'm gonna do in that situation is I'm just gonna come too.
What do you mean?
Like me and Rob me and Rob gonna go to drinks. Okay, where y'all going? What time you gonna be there? I'm coming too. And I'm gonna sit right there in the middle of you and Rob.
That's
see
not
what
insecure?
the chemistry like. Nah, ain't no insecure. We gonna get this. If I really like Shorty, I'm gonna get that shit out the way real fast. Cause Rob like you, and either he in a friend zone or you in a friend zone. And I feel like it's even nasty if she in a friend zone.
If you do that, then you didn't set your boundary. Cause it's like if you like Shorty really bad, you're not gonna get to that point where you like Shorty really bad.
See, I'm insecure in the other way. I'm insecure of looking insecure. If I could be completely honest, I don't want to look insecure, so I'm insecure that way. So instead of me being insecure, like, no, I don't want you, but I don't feel right with you, but I'm just gonna I'm gonna fix this shit.
You gonna ride with it, but
Yeah.
then like secretly you're gonna be trying to maneuver and trying to figure out what's
No,
what.
I'm gonna see if he's a real friend or not. I'm gonna see what kind of nigga he is.
You think it could be a real friendship, other than like a person that is interested in the same sex? You think it could work out?
What I've learned from podcasting, I learned from the YouTube space, you cannot base your complete way of thinking on your personal experience. So even though I've never had it, I have friends who have female friends, and
they slept with them.
Some of them. I mean, but I can't discount their experiences neither. So I kind of have to, take it like in the broader scope, there are people that can have friends of the opposite sex. It's not my personal thing, you know what I mean? But in the bigger scope, yeah, it could happen. But it could be nefarious too. Like it could be for the wrong reasons. And I feel like usually it is.
I would agree with that. I think most cases, I would probably put a number like 70-80% of the cases are nefarious.
Okay.
And even situations where you're talking about people that known each other for mad long and whatever, that's my bro, that's my cousin or whatever. Yeah. Some of those situations could be.
I only get along with guys. I don't get along with girls.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah, all those type of excuses.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Any thoughts on it?
Nope. I mean, no. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this, right? Like, you hold on to who you can hold on to until the relationship becomes serious enough for you to just know when certain relationships aren't respectable anymore, like to have. Like, even your best of girlfriend, like, if you dealing with somebody long enough to where once again, the person, not that person's insecure, but it's like, it does become weird at a certain point, right?
Yeah, it's some awkward moments because you got to do a lot of explaining, right? And when it comes to friends of the opposite sex, if your significant other really doesn't agree with it, eventually you're gonna have to cut that person off. If it was a dude, a lot of the times you're not gonna cut your homeboy off, but your homegirl, you be like, yo, my lady don't like me being friends with you, so
listen,
just to keep the peace.
Nobody agrees. Even if they say they agree, they don't agree.
I think couples agree.
Everybody
when
wants you to
both
have
parties have
a
friend of the opposite
sex.
So
if party one has one,
if the female has a male friend,
it's all
and
good.
the guy doesn't, he's not gonna roll with it.
But if everybody got
vice
friends
versa, she's not gonna roll with it. But if they both got friends, they be like, "Oh, you got your friend, I got my friend, or whatever."
Yeah, that's an orgy. Everybody fucking.
Right.
That's just too much. Now, the gay bestie is the new thing that a lot of dudes are sneaking in there with the
You
gay
think they
card.
perpetrating?
Shit, can't tell. I don't know. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes are attracted to men and women.
Yeah.
And if they could play extra gay and they can see their besties naked and, you know what I mean? And me in there, play that game. Be a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah. That's how far I think men will go that far.
To the end of the world for some pussy. Boy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if a woman would do that. Play butch or whatever. Or,
no, I don't think so.
They wouldn't do that.
That.
Women, the way they play it.
But she'll play the best friend. And she and they play that let me hook you up with my friends kind of girl. Mm-hmm. Keep feeding you pussy until the pussy run out, and then she the only pussy left. That should be happening too. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're real, if I had to give her advice, I feel like if she was real serious about being in a relationship with a man in the future, she would have to kind of, I'm not gonna say lessen the interaction, but make them a little bit more appropriate. If you're gonna go out with dude, don't showcase dude like you're on a date with him,
Yeah.
And I don't want to police your friends. I'm not saying you gotta get rid of them, but
I would.
Three's a crowd, yo.
Either shoot your shot.
Yeah.
And let it be known, life is too short, bro.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I don't understand. All right, and we can move on after this. She said that she said like I'm so like the guy that I'm so in love that I love so much.
Those aren't words that people use with their friends.
It's not.
I've
right?
never once said that I'm in love with one of my friends.
Yo, if you find a person that you could be best friends with of the opposite sex, and you're attracted to that person, and then the sex is good,
yeah,
that's your mate, bro.
Yes.
That's your mate. That's what everybody's looking for.
But what's happening
Why would you pass that up?
He's playing the crowd. He's playing the field.
Yeah, he don't want her.
He don't want her, and she don't want to understand that, he just going to play the field and let it go. She'd rather just sit there and wait for the nigga until, Didn't that recently happen? Didn't Boyce Watkins marry, like, a longtime friend of his? I don't know. I don't have the specs of it to, like, really, but people be waiting it out, man.
Yeah. I could see somebody waiting out for like real, genuine love, right? But a lot of times when people
what's that
wait
look
out,
like though? On what end? On the man or the woman end? Like on the man,
both,
you're gonna just
both.
watch. You're gonna watch.
No. I don't think
the love
that's
of your
genuine.
life just get thrashed every weekend.
That's what I'm saying. That's not real, genuine love. Like you like that woman more than she like you, like, or you like that dude more than he like you. Okay. Like he's out there fucking, and you out there waiting for him to finish, and settle. Want to fuck with you, and vice versa. She out there doing her getting thrashed, doing her thing, and you waiting for that chance. But that means she likes you. She does. You like her more than she likes you. And in that
100%.
situation, she
Dangerous.
likes him more than he likes her. Probably.
Dangerous.
So when you get with that person, they not stupid. They know that you're into them more than you're into them more than they're into you.
Yeah.
And they're gonna treat you like that.
Treat you just like that. Yeah. He out the concept. He not posting her. He not doing that. She the one. Look who I'm with. But you entertain the men and you really want to date men and you want this dude to be a placeholder while you waiting for this dude to like actually see you as the person.
Yeah.
You playing in that nigga's face, yo. And that nigga seen it. Salute to you, King. You seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Commentating on it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep on doing your thing, man.
All right. So what we got up next?
You get a shout out to them?
All right. So that had no real audio to it, so we got to get the context of it. If you could read,
We saw the love.
The caption on it, it was basically saying like, this woman is a doctor. She had just finished a 13-hour shift and came home and made dinner for her husband after working a 13-hour shift.
Not her children, her husband.
Her husband, yeah. There was a lot of commentary behind this clip talking about, as far as like, I guess you could say modern women who, I guess, I don't know if I would say that they feel like them going out and working kind of disregards them from doing domestic stuff or cooking and, doing things like that. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Don't go.
Get the shout out the way. No. Come on, get back here, man. Get back here.
I'm sorry, I messed shit up.
Shout out to Lonnie Love, man. Dropping in real
That man
quick.
got out of here fast. He made
Yeah,
it
he
out of
did.
here
He beelined out.
Got the trigger.
Yeah, so what's your first thoughts on the clip, GB?
I just saw love, yo. I just saw black love, black excellence. I saw an uncorrupted woman. I saw a woman that was raised correctly, and she understands the assignment of being a wife. She understands that she studied medicine. She's a doctor, but at the end of the day, she understands that a wife's hospital is her kitchen. A mother's hospital is her kitchen. That's how she keeps her loved ones healthy, by putting the right food in them. She chopped up them vegetables. She wasn't showing that video to show like slamming the vegetables around, slamming the thing around. Oh, this is what this man got me. She was showing the pride that she takes in taking care of her family, and that's a wife's duty. No matter how sexist it sounds, no matter how whatever it sounds, our job is to protect. Her job is to nurture and to cultivate and to, reproduce if she can. But yeah, I tip my hat to her, salute to her. That was an excellent representation of what a modern woman should look like.
So, all right, I think it's very important to give context because there were a lot of people in the comment section speaking about the fact that her husband is a doctor also, right? And you had a lot of women in the comments saying that, all right, well, he makes money too.
Okay.
Right? So that's why she would go home and cook him dinner. But if she was the breadwinner, what does she look like cooking a meal after doing a 13-hour shift?
Like a wife that understands the assignment. Like, I don't know. She's like a wife. Makes money, not makes money, like whatever. Like, it is what it is. You know?
Well, I think for the most part, a lot of modern women feel like in place of doing cooking and other type of quote unquote like domestic duties,
Right.
they're filling that in with going out and making money.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So
well, we've all become hybrids in a sense because all right, let's take a couple of steps back. What's your definition of a traditional wife?
In
your words.
I think it's a traditional wife is someone that takes care of her family.
Okay.
Nurtures, right? Whether that be cooking, caring, making sure everyone is good health-wise, physically, being how can I say? They don't have to be a lot of red pill guys use feminine, fit, and friendly. They don't, they don't have to be fit per se, but
feminine and friendly is a must.
Feminine and friendly is a must. Right. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my definition. Doesn't mean that a traditional wife does not work. Because
a traditional wife. Now a traditional wife.
Doesn't work? Traditional woman or a traditional wife doesn't. That doesn't mean they don't work.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because I think a lot of the folks today feel like, oh, how you expect me to be traditional when I got to go out and work, right? Mm-hmm. If women didn't work back in the day when they were more traditional, who did like the quote unquote woman type of jobs? Who were cleaning the houses? Who were the nurses? Who were doing certain jobs? Men weren't nurses back in the day. No. We've always had hospitals, right?
Yeah.
We always had health care.
Absolutely.
Right? So women were nurses back then. Women were maids and things like that. So they went out and worked and they did certain things and they came home and they took care of their families.
Absolutely.
So we got this today, women got this perception. It was like, well, how am I supposed to be traditional if I got to go out and work? I got to go make money. But women used to also do that.
See, but where I disagree with you is I feel like a traditional woman does all those things, but she doesn't work. I feel like we have to be honest with this conversation, I feel like we have to take it all the way back. I feel like back when women were having 6, 7, 8, 9 kids, they stayed home.
Okay.
And their sole livelihood was based on the man. The man was always the breadwinner, no matter how much bread he brought in.
In the scenarios that I'm saying, the man was still the breadwinner,
or as rich as she, Oh, so the man has to be the breadwinner to
I'm not saying he necessarily has to, but that's just the way like things. That's the way things were.
Like, and I feel like in the traditional marriage, the woman doesn't work. And I feel like we have to be honest if we're going to tackle this thing. I don't feel like anybody I know is living in the traditional marriage.
That doesn't exist anymore, though.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist. First of all, we live.
Like it's outdated.
It's definitely outdated because
it's how much of the hybrid you want to deal with now. It's everybody.
All right, I'm not even. Let's not even talk about a hybrid. It's just like it's just a new version of it.
Yeah,
not even a hybrid because
updated.
Because the majority of people, the masses of people, they have to have two incomes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, to live in America at least.
Yeah, in the United States of America, back in the 30s and 40s and maybe even the 50s, you could live a decent life and raise a family on one income.
Yeah.
That's you know, like
Impossible now.
it's not impossible.
Well, it had to be a high income for that one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna have to kind of cut costs as far as lifestyle. You know, you're gonna have to,
That part.
you know, but in order to be at a certain level or standard of living, whichever, you know, things that people wanted back in the day, you could do that with one income.
Yeah.
It's not really that possible with the average income these days, right? So it's new. It's a whole new traditional woman, traditional wife, right?
Yeah.
But working should not like absolve you from being
Your duties.
feminine and friendly, and you know, taking care of your family.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
On the vice versa side, in 2023, working doesn't exempt a man from being with the kids and doing stuff with his kids.
Not
and,
even close.
Not even
you
close.
know what I mean?
Not even close.
Not even
Just
close.
we can't use like
You've
I was
had-
working. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had too many conversations with other men and with ourselves about our fathers not
Yeah,
being around.
you gotta
enough.
get out there. You gotta get
so
out
we gotta
there.
get out there around the house. We gotta get around the house. When she asks us to do something around the house,
You
we gotta
gotta
kind
do
of
it.
get to it.
You gotta do it.
We have
yeah.
to kind of stick into our roles the best we can, but yeah,
And I think that's okay. I think that's okay to
Yeah.
just, you know, like The Rock said, know your role, man. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Know your role. Know what's needed of you. Well, also, too, maybe your dynamic doesn't need a traditional situation. It needs the hybrid. Or knowing the role, I think, is more important than, you know, fulfilling what a quote-unquote man or woman should do. Because, like, you know, let's say your wife is or super into stuff around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just not going to step on her toes there. You're going to let her have that. You might have the lawn. It might be things of that nature where, you know, things that are more important to you. Doing things with the kids might be more important to one person than the other.
yeah.
You know?
Education, working with the kids on things like that.
I think
Or stuff like that.
I think another thing that has changed is the value system, right? So we live in a day and age where everybody's valued based on how much money they bring in. Back in the day, they didn't, like, you could be a regular guy working at a factory. The fact that they would say he's a good, honest guy. He comes to work on time. He goes to church on Sunday. He takes care of his family. This, that, you know, he coaches the baseball team or whatever. You know what I mean?
But I'm going to be honest. I think in this day and age, the man who does all of that can have exactly a family and things. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? That's like, now I feel like the man wants more than that. The man was okay with those things. A man was okay.
You went out.
I went out.
Yeah.
Check. You hear me?
You're good now.
Okay. The man was okay with, I got a car that runs. I got my little house. Right? Now the man, that's too loud now. The man, like, wants more, where that's not enough for him. Everybody, it's just nothing is enough for anybody.
Well, if somebody feels like the standard of success or the bar of success is higher than that, yeah, most people are going to try to achieve that. So if back in the day, whatever was the gold standard of a good guy, that's what people wanted to do. But the values were different. Like, there were other things other than money. Pretty much everything kind of surrounds money. And I'm speaking generally speaking. You could do a lot of other things. Is a lot of other things good in your life? You could be a good guy. You could have good morals, good standards, all that, and do stuff here or there. Take care of your family, but ultimately, respect comes from a lot of the times what you have. These days, it's kind of about what you have.
Is clout the same as respect? I think clout comes from what you have. I don't think respect. I think respect is still based on integrity. You could be a douchebag with a lot of shit, and everybody thinks you're a douchebag, and they could play the game around you, but no one really respects you. I think your character and your,
all right.
you know what I mean?
So no.
Your integrity.
You could
and how good of a man you really are comes from.
You're talking about really getting to know people.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just speaking.
We're talking about like marriage, like
right.
you know your husband, and you know if you don't like him, but he brings in money, then you're not gonna go above and beyond for him and cook for him and try to keep him as healthy as possible. If he's a bad person, you know, you're gonna be like, all right, yo, let's go get that maid, let's go get that. Like she took pride, like she looked like she's been taught that. She chopped up them vegetables, everything from scratch. Everything was made with love, seasoned everything, put it up. In between, did her little work. It looked like she was sending out a couple of emails and got back to it. Boom, 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 everything. It was just a tutorial. It was just a master class.
All right, I'm saying
you know
we but
and how to be a powerful woman and be a wife. She probably saved 3 lives or delivered like 3 babies that day. That ain't nothing compared to that fish and that rice that she had to make for her husband. Her husband's nowhere near the picture. Husband is probably in the room with a beer, or he probably on his way home. He probably worked a long day too. He probably makes more than her, everything like that. But if you're married to somebody, if you're married as a woman, your job is to nurture and to keep that man on his purpose by keeping him healthy and keeping him alive.
All right.
Your
is it
kitchen
easier?
is your hospital.
Is it easier to do that when your husband can provide? That
it's easier to do that when you like him. Not love him, you like him. You can love somebody and don't like him. If you like and you respect that man, you will have no problem doing that shit. There's no, you should really pick up like 2-3 nights a week. If anything, you're just gonna make it easier for you. Maybe you might get some of that stuff that comes prepackaged and you kind of prepare it. She might cheat a little bit during the week, but when she want to show her ass, she's gonna show her ass. She gonna video record it and she gonna put it on, on social media, so Cigars and Whiskey could talk about it. I mean, salute to you, young lady. I got nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. I've seen my mom do it. I've seen my mom go to school. My pops was diagnosed as a diabetic, you know what I mean? And I seen my mom as a nurse come home, prepare meals for him because he couldn't eat in the street. He couldn't do all that. She had to prep meals, make sure he had his food, make sure everything was right. She kept that. Pops is still running. Everybody's still going. You know what I mean? That's what love is, That's what love. Yeah. That's all I know. So that's, when I seen it, and that's what I know in my household. Wifey cook with love. Like our biggest arguments is I'm rushing out the house and she's trying to, you said you leaving at 6, like it's 5:30. Like give me like 15 more minutes to plate this and put it up for you. Like you gave me a timeline on when you was gonna leave. Let me put this together for you. I had everything ready. Like come on, you wildin', and that I gotta understand the love. You know what I mean? That comes with love. Like she don't want me eating out in the street. You know what I mean? She want me to have that home cooking and that food that she knows was going into my body to keep me alive longer. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Trying to get a little cozy.
That was. Yep.
Always be saying they want a traditional woman, like, oh, can you cook? Can you do it? You not
Shut
a
up.
traditional man.
Thank you.
Be
Tell
a
them
traditional
again.
man. Is you even a breadwinner, boo? Sit down.
Anyway, thank you so much
Can
for
you
this
change your
interview.
tire?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Done.
Have you built a house?
Have you built a house, baby? Y'all want traditional women. Y'all not traditional men. Period.
They don't deserve a traditional woman.
No, you don't. You don't, boo. You should be submissive to me, actually.
All right, that's right on the heels of the last video, right? And
That was fun.
First off, I think that if you were born in the mid to late 90s and the 2000s, you have no business speaking about traditional men or traditional women.
Why?
Right? Because they're just too young. They haven't seen that. They haven't seen
So their grandparents and their parents, like nobody was traditional in that?
you don't
My daughter was born in my oldest daughter was born in 1999, and I felt like I feel like I played a good example in being a traditional man.
Okay. How did she see you though? She could see you as a traditional man, but she didn't see you in like no, I'm not bringing up.
No, come on.
She didn't see you with her. You and her mother interact like that. You guys were.
Well, she saw me marry her mother,
Mm-hmm.
and she saw my parents, and even as myself, she saw me take on those roles when it was time for her to learn how to ride a bike or learn how to drive or drive for the college or do all the heavy lifting. I did the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother did more like teaching her how to do her hair and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
We got her ready for the world, but we got her ready for the world in traditional ways. Even if we were separate, divorced, I felt like we still stayed in our roles for my daughter. Like my daughter saw me, go to work and come back and, make sure, like she asked me when it was time for, hate to bring it back to money, but when it came down to like, if she needed something, I was the one to, give it to her.
Yeah, okay. You brought it back to money, right?
Yeah, I did.
So if she has a man in her life that can't come up with that bread,
Mm-hmm.
then like it's like, okay, do I give that man respect like that? If he don't got that bread?
I think she sees the finish line, and I feel like she's gonna give grace in order to get to that finish line by seeing what she wants. She knows what she wants, hopefully by seeing it, and I feel like she's gonna give grace for it to get to where it's gonna get to.
I think like this video is about like what I was saying on the last clip, man. It's respect, right? And I feel like a lot of folks these days, men and women, I'm not just saying just women, we respect money. Like you just said, somebody could be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
If they have money, they get the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
But they're gonna buy it. But you don't have to respect them.
they don't even got to buy it from people. People will not get a dime from somebody, but feel like that person is an ill person because they were able to make money. You know what I mean? It doesn't have anything to do with their morals, their standards, who they are.
It's not true. There's a lot of people who have money and we don't respect them.
You would have to give me an example.
Martin Shkreli, the dude that had that medicine for, I want to say it's either HIV or cancer. I don't know. He had some kind of medicine, and he hiked the price up crazy, and he went to jail eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And he made millions of dollars. He's the one that bought that Wu-Tang album.
No, I know who you're talking about. But I feel
he made a lot of money, but no one really respects him.
I feel like
You could be a skeezy nigga with money.
after he showed his ass, right? After you talking about after he showed his ass, right? With that whole medication thing and also with the Wu-Tang thing, he showed his ass. He was a bit extra, right? He was acting douchebaggish, right? But if he never did that, he might get ultimate respect just for being a rich guy. You know what I mean? Like, he could still be the same
You have to be
asshole.
a decent person to get having money doesn't have to do anything with getting respect. I don't think so.
I think a lot of people judge
I think
people.
tolerate you.
Yo, bro, I know folks that will tell me, yo, that dude is an ill dude. He an ill dude. I'm like, yo, why is he ill dude? Yo, that nigga got this car.
No.
Or that, yo, he drive this, so you drive that.
Yeah.
And I meet the dude. I'm like, yo, that nigga's lame. You're a lame dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I spoke to a dude like, yo, you value money, right? It's like, yo, you'll be around somebody who's like lame as hell,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, yo, he ill dude, and I brought up the situation. I was like, I asked you about another dude, why is he ill, and you told me because he had this, so he had that. Like, I think a lot of people do that. And then when it comes to relationships with men and women, like, you got her on this platform talking about speaking very disrespectful, right, towards men, right?
Okay.
And the first thing she said is like, are you a breadwinner, right? And this is a lot of times what women do is like, when you ask them a question or you put them on the spot, they come back with an alternative question, right, to try to move the goalposts, right? If I'm going on a date with a female, I'm like, yo, can you cook? Like, it's just a regular question. Like, can you cook?
Right.
Like, don't get offended. If you can't cook, cool. If you could cook, cool.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not like a dig on you. I'm asking you a question, right? But you got to ask me, like, are you a breadwinner? Can you fix it? Can you change a tire? Can you build a house? Like, yo, bro, I'm just asking you general questions. That's not a dig on you. Don't take it personal. And I think when women feel attacked or they feel like you're poking at them, they don't want to. They feel like it's not even an accountability thing, but they want to move the goalposts.
No.
You could just say, "Yo, I can't do
Definitely.
that." But you know what? You know what's ill? This is what females need to understand is that if you can't do something, like, nah, I can't do that. But like, yo, for the right dude, I'll learn how to cook.
How to do it? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll apply myself
Like,
to this.
Yo, if I got the right dude, I'll learn how to cook. I'll take some cooking classes. You know what I mean? I don't know how to cook now.
Lotto's a rapper.
And you have to understand, she's 24 years old.
24 years old. And we're watching this, and I don't know, speaking about hip hop in the first part of the episode, and thinking about what hip hop did for young men in the 90s and the early 2000s with the misogyny, and now we're entering the city girls, hot girl summer kind of vibe, the women empowerment kind of vibe. It's almost the same kind of poisoning of the well.
So you think think the message they're giving shows respect to men?
No, I feel like the message they're giving now is poisoning young women. Same way the message in the 90s and the 2000s were poisoning young men, how to deal with women. You know, I don't love no hoe and bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks and all that, you know. But I feel like this message now, this hot girl, this promiscuousness, and no one's gonna judge you. Like, your body count has no idea. You don't have to be. All you gotta do is make money, and you don't have to be a good, you know, person. You know, it's they've taken the hyper masculinity of hip hop and kind of morphed it into their own thing, and they're pushing it out to young ladies now, and they're poisoning the well for a lot of young ladies. And not saying that they can't get out of it or they can't wake up out the spell, but you know, women aren't on the same kind of clock as dudes. Dudes could kind of snap out of it in their 30s or, you know, even in their 40s and be good. You know what I mean? Women are wasting a lot of time, a lot of valuable years by trashing themselves.
I think they play in the dozens, right? It's like, oh, shut up, bitch. Oh, you a hoe. Oh, nigga, you broke. Right? It's just it's going back and forth, right? It's like everybody throwing digs at each other. Right?
Yeah.
Now it's the women's turn. Now, you cool. Broke. You broke.
Cool.
You know what I mean? We don't let no hoes or whatever like that. Now, chicks is like, we ain't fucking with no broke Broke dudes.
What broke niggas gonna do? He's
Exactly.
gonna fuck with broke bitches. It's always a
Well,
broke bitch.
no,
somewhere. It is
we
always
know
a broke-
we know that,
Yeah.
but the message is poison, and a lot of the
Poison
times
what, man?
it's not working. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's
now
not working.
that's the other thing. And
Hot girl summer. What that got her?
I don't.
Shorty got shot in the foot. It's that ass home. We ain't seen it in 2 years. City girl. One of them is snorting coke. One of them is fucking on a 50-year-old nigga. This one, Lotto. I don't know.
So
Have at it. You know what I mean?
As one of the figures of this show, I'm not sure if those things are actually facts. We're gonna say the views of GB are not necessarily the views of Cigars and Whiskey. It's writers, producers, or the light guy, or the sound person. Ron probably. I'm gonna count you in here, Ron. Just jump on a lifeboat. I just had to say that.
He said it. I'm gonna roll with him, man. I'm rolling with him.
Yeah, but that's what we got with that, man. You know, it's tongue in cheek. They playing the dozens. No one's taking it serious, but in every joke, there's a little hint of truth in it. We know that's how women really feel. I always send the message, dude, step your game up. Like, listen, they talking shit. Don't fucking take it personal. Get your paper up. Do your thing. Find a nice, submissive, beautiful, caring, feminine woman, and get on your purpose, yo.
Yeah. And another thing for dudes, they need to understand the nature of women, right? Women are they are the shit, right? They are. Good women are the shit, right? But even the good ones, the nature of a woman, right? Like, yo, bro, like a dude is going to, if you give him something to chew on, he's gonna eat it. You know what I mean? You tell him some shit that's wrong with him, he gonna try to fix it. We try to come up with solutions for shit, right? Women are not going to. You got to kind of, I hate to say it, not necessarily manipulate women, but if you want a woman to do something, a lot of times they're not gonna be accountable for deficiencies. Like if you tell a dude like, yo, you need to make some more money, a lot of dudes are gonna find a way to try to make some money. We're gonna try, right? You tell a woman like, yo, you need to learn how to cook. She might tell you you need to learn carpentry. You need to learn how to build a house or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So you got to understand the nature of a woman or whatever. So the way they act or the way they go about things, you can't really take shit personally. You know what I mean? And you got to know that, yo, a lot of the times it's not gonna be a fair fight, right? When you going back and forth with a woman, because women flow on emotion, right? If they feel triggered, they feel cornered, they're gonna be like a cat ready to attack and scratch. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be like, yeah, you're right. Very rarely you're gonna hear a woman say, yeah, you're right, I need to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? I guess we can go to the next one now. Let me see. Click on it. Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't paying my child support no more.
What? Oh,
Listen, you got yourself a real rich man. Okay.
And what does that have to do with you?
A lot, because
What
I
does
ain't
that have
paying
to do
no more.
with you?
I ain't got
Explain
to
it.
pay no more child support.
You, so you to be on record saying that you don't pay.
You can
child
put me on
support
record. I don't
because you
care.
be lying to your
Put it
friends.
on record.
You be lying.
See what
That's
the
what's
average.
going on Facebook
Listen,
about the black woman.
I ain't finna going back
No,
and forth.
no, tell us about
I'm
the black
done
woman.
playing the child support.
You're
You
not
got your
jealous.
man.
You're gonna
You're
find
happily
your ass in
married.
jail.
So you're
You're
fine.
jealous because I mean,
So
you're a
nothing.
typical.
Think I'm doing.
You're a typical.
That's it.
You're lucky
That's the
my
only
husband,
thing I'm doing.
You're lucky my husband's not here.
Eric in the office trying to get some more money for you.
being a rich man.
Okay,
right?
then.
So no.
You
that
good.
has
You don't
nothing
need
to
no
do
more
with
money
your
from
daughter.
me.
Desiree,
Wait, you don't need no more.
Desiree, this is your father. Talk to your daughter. Tell her
Don't put
why
my
her
child
daddy
involved.
won't pay her child
Don't involve
support.
my child in
Tell
this
her why
situation.
my husband has to take
Don't
care
put
of
my
her.
child in this
because
situation.
you won't take care.
I'm gonna tell you one
What
more
you
time.
gonna do?
Don't put that phone on my
But
face.
I'm talking to you
Do
so
not
you can
put that
pay
phone in
child
my face.
support.
I'm not paying no child
You're
support, right?
behind.
You
You're
got
behind.
somebody that take care of you.
No, see, that's
You got
why I love
somebody
you,
that's
'cause
taking
you
care
said
of
you
this
be
house,
hollering
and you got
acting
another man.
crazy.
I wasn't no, I wasn't no,
You
I wasn't no
baby
bum. You
mama,
got, I got with
acting-
you.
Yes, as a baby
I don't
mama.
wanna
You
hear all
mad?
that.
You mad? 'Cause I
Rachel,
don't want to be a
I
baby
don't
mama.
wanna hear all this
You mad
stuff.
because I couldn't stay a baby mama? Are you married?
I ain't never
You're on
called
the
you baby mama.
But that's what
I
you
love
said.
that didn't work out. I'm gonna tell you why it didn't work out. You know why it didn't work out?
Why didn't it work
Because
out?
you said you want to be all professional with the guy. Ain't that you?
No, I'm an
Right?
educated
So
black
that's why I'm
woman
not
like
paying
you.
no more child. I'd rather go to jail than pay you
You
another
gonna be in
dime.
jail.
He said what he said.
That now,
boy.
you're a guy that prides yourself on never having to step into the courtroom.
People's champ.
What are your first thoughts on it?
Just feel like homie's a sucker, man. Like, I don't care how papered up the next man is, yo. Like, my daughter or his child, his daughter in that case should be taken care of by him. You should
All right.
take pride of taking care of your children.
All right, just a little more context. It's a little bit more to it. He said, like, I'll give my daughter money, right? But all right. So let's talk about what is child support for. What is it supposed to be for, in your opinion?
In my opinion, child support is for housing, for feeding, for educating, and for basic needs: deodorant, underwear, and clothes. Shoes, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like everything else is on you, is the source on how you want to, treat your child. If you want to just raise your child on the basics, send the child support. When that child calls you and asks you for extra money to join, to play on a basketball team, or to go to camp, or to get another, to get an extra pair of Nikes, or to do other things. If you want to say no, that's up to you and that child. That's on you as a father.
Mm-hmm.
But child support is the basics. If that child lives with that parent full time, myself, I was able to stay out of child support court was because my ex-wife and I were able to come up with an agreement on how we were going to house, clothes, pay
Now,
for education.
I have a question
and
for
do
that.
all those things.
Is that approach? Was that approach able to be to take place because of how proactive you probably were already?
Yes.
Right. So, like, if you're a proactive person,
Yeah.
maybe even a little extra proactive, if you know it's on the line. Like, that should kind of keep you out of that, right?
I didn't grow up in a house. I grew up in a 2-family house.
Right.
When her mother and I split, I felt extremely guilty that my daughter was not going to have both her parents
Because
in her life full time.
when
So I
do
try to
women-
supplement it the best way I can.
When do women ask? Well, what is the primary, circumstance for a woman asking for child support or
Well,
having
let's
to
just
go
go
to the
from
court?
like housing, cool? Let's go to housing. Like,
Right.
if a woman's on her own, she gets a 1-bedroom. What's the difference between a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom?
It's some money.
Some money.
Definitely some money.
What, like $600?
Probably.
So you should be able to pay like 3 of that, right? You should be able to split the cost of her having to have that extra room for that child, right?
Okay.
Okay.
and
That's
then
fair.
to keep the car on the road, and then you almost like, shout out to Tyrone, yo. Ty, shout out to you, man. We're exporting a lot of that work
Mm-hmm.
now to Ty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're exporting parenthood when you're not raising your child full time,
Mm-hmm.
So now she has to worry about picking up and taking the kids to school and daycare, and well, not so much daycare, but picking her, like, her schedule kind of revolves around the kid, and you get to go do whatever you want to do, and that's what child support is for. But I feel like if you're willing to step up and to take on that responsibility, you could come to the agreement with that child's mother and not have to pay child support.
I kind of hear what dude is saying.
Okay.
I kind of hear what dude is saying.
In what way?
In my opinion, like you said, I feel like child support is for food, shelter, and clothing, right? And if you have a new husband that you telling me how rich he is,
yeah,
why do I gotta help? Like, why do you need my money to go towards your mortgage?
So
right?
her husband should be able to fuck that nigga too then. Like that nigga's fucking everybody then. Like nigga,
what
he taking care of her responsibility because he's fucking her. You know what I mean? Like that's the woman she with. That
All
doesn't
right.
necessarily mean that his nuts get to shrink up and he don't get to fucking be a fucking father.
Yo,
yo,
all right,
if she
that's
fuck
no.
with that nigga, that's up. Like he put her pussy back on the fucking market, and a rich nigga scooped it up. Now you like everybody hit the lotto cause she fucking a rich nigga.
No, yo, bro. If he says to me, says, all right, I'll do for my daughter what I want to do for my daughter, but paying you, yo, bro. I get what he's saying, because now if you're talking about a woman that is not in a situation and she's carrying the load and she has your kid and she don't have a significant other they don't have the means, I get it. But if you telling me your man is rich and you have more than enough to carry your mortgage, to pay for groceries in your house and stuff like that, all right, I could do shit for my daughter, but why do you need my child support? Why? If you telling me that your man is rich, why do you need my child support? I'm not saying I'm not going to be there for my child. I'm going to be there.
Whatever you can when you just give whatever you want to when you can.
Not even. I would give
with a certain set amount.
No, not no set amount. If my daughter asks me for something, yes,
right.
I'm gonna get it for her, right? But what? Like, okay,
so you want this other man to be your child's daddy?
No. Yo, bro, you just said you never stepped into a court, right?
Yeah.
You never had to pay child support.
No.
All right.
No.
So you paid what had to be paid. What was
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you had to kick in certain spots, but let's just say, for instance, if your lady don't need it. She don't need it. She don't need, like, even y'all don't go to court, but she don't need the money, right? You might still want to get something for your daughter. You might want to take her places, buy her shit or whatever, but you're not gonna be like, yo, you know what? Let me give you money towards your rent, and she'd be like, nah, I don't need. Hold. She'd be like, I don't need it. Nah, I just want to give it to you because my daughter lives with you. Is that what we saying?
No. We're saying that if she said that she don't need it, okay, so
basically she said her husband rich, so they don't need it.
That's fine. So let me pay the whole tuition for the school, or let me pay that whole, like let me take care of something. Like I'm going to take care of something. Mm-hmm. This is my responsibility too. Like I need to, as a man, take care of my child.
I'm shooting to do some bail.
If you are fine and you don't need to pay for any of that rent, I'm pretty sure, like, if everybody's up and we're not sending the kids to, like, regular school, no offense to public school, but we're going to do a private school, and then I'll pay for that then.
Okay.
Like, there's always a place where the money can
this
go.
is what I'm trying to say.
If she's into gymnastics, I'm going to pay for gymnastics.
Dude didn't say,
classes,
no.
I'm going to pay for tutoring. I'm going to pay for anything. I'm going to contribute to benefit my daughter.
Yes.
Way.
But
if she says that she doesn't want that money.
If the woman does not need the basicness, she don't need you to help cover food, shelter, and clothing,
right.
or even food and shelter.
Yeah.
That's not even, because you could buy clothes for your kid or whatever, right? But if she said, if you know she's good with the basics with food and shelter, right?
Yeah.
You just gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna just give you money just because if she says she don't need it. Because indirectly, she's saying she don't need it. If she's saying her husband is rich,
saying that she doesn't need you to be a father to
now
your kid.
It seems
her
like
husband is the father of her kid now.
Huh?
Her new husband is the father to you. That's all she's saying.
She lived.
And that's how you should take it.
No. If All
if
right,
she's
hold on.
saying that,
We
yo,
got-
I
no,
don't
this is
need
what
your
I'm-
money.
no.
If she's saying I don't need your money to raise my child, she's saying my husband has enough money to raise your child. I don't need your money. I don't need you to be a father anymore.
Bro, if we're in a relationship, me and my baby moms is in a relationship, right? We have the ability to split custody.
Yeah.
But if you want full custody, you want her living in your house with your new husband, right? And majority of the time, if you got a woman that is a decent woman, she's gonna get that custody, right? She's probably gonna get preferential treatment over the man.
Well, that's the perk of going to child support. You get court mandated custody. So you either get holidays, you get weekends, you get summers. So the court mandates time that you get with your child as well too.
Okay.
So okay.
All right. But what I'm saying is that with that, you made the decision. You didn't want to split custody with me. You have her living with you.
Yeah.
Right? You wanted full custody, and they granted you full custody, right? Then your husband, right? He marries you knowing you have these kids or whatever like that.
Right.
So when as a man that's dating a woman that has a child, you know you're taking on that responsibility. You're not gonna get the woman. You're not gonna get the woman without the child.
Yeah, fine.
So is he totally wrong to say like, yo, if you telling me how rich your husband is, all right, so what you need my child support money for? If you got the basics covered, because this dude is rich, you don't need me to help pay your mortgage, right? You don't need me to help with the grocery bill.
It's a sense of pride though. It's a sense. You ever had to move in with somebody?
No. The pride
You ever had
is
to move in with somebody that
the
was
pride
kind of good without you anyway, but then you just there and you're like, yo, you know what? Just as a sense of good faith and a sense of pride, I'm going to give you something, even though I know you don't need it. But I'm just going to give you this anyway. You got to pay your way in life. Like you can't. I don't know. And a sense of pride, like you can't look at Future and Russell Wilson right now.
Mm-hmm.
Future got it. Russell Wilson got it. Future is being clowned by social media and America for letting another man raise his child. If that's what it looks like, you're letting another man be your child's daddy.
And this is
if you
this
cool
go,
with
wait,
that,
wait,
then cool with that.
No.
If you want to walk around, let
See,
another man be your child's daddy.
Do you understand what you're saying?
Good for you.
This is what people respect. Money. You just talking about money, right? He never said I'm not gonna, like, he could just raise my daughter. He said like, yo, you don't need my money.
He's taking the kid to camp. He's doing everything with him. Yo, you know
He
what's
said-
a good thing?
bro, the dude said-
what he could say? He could be like, yo, listen, that's cool. First of all, he don't got no choice in this child. I don't even know what that whole argument is about.
No, he don't really
Like,
got no choice.
I don't even understand what that talk was about because there's no negotiating child support in the fucking hallway of a fucking house. You know what I mean? You gotta go to court for that shit.
Yeah,
And when the
absolutely.
court, when the judge says you stop paying, that's when you stop paying. So all that talking he doing doesn't mean anything.
No,
But-
he said he'd go to jail before you
Yeah,
give him the money.
And that's the first sign of a fucking deadbeat. There's a lot of niggas in jail right now because they don't want to fucking
First of all,
pay for their fucking kids.
all right. So first of all, I think they're both scorned, right? They're both scorned. And if you really sitting there talking
How is
about,
she scoring?
huh?
She's going. Start with her first.
Because if first of all, if he's a bum, like she called him, that child support she getting is bullshit. If her man is rich,
Have some fucking pride. So you deserve to just
bro, what's the pride? What's the pride to say?
paying for your fucking kid?
No. This is what I'm trying to say. I said it before, but I don't know if you
What
listening.
How much money does
He didn't. He said I'll pay for my daughter's shit myself. He said that, right?
So what, like fucking s'mores at camp? And
I don't
fucking
know.
little lunch
I don't
money?
know.
What
I
you
can't tell
talking
you what
about?
that is, but child support.
Paul, can you
That's
please
why.
look at
That's
your-
why we spoke
please?
about what No, it's not in the video. It
Talk
goes
some
further.
sense into this
It
nigga,
goes
man.
further. But what I was as far as he said that, he would provide for his daughter himself.
Yeah.
Right? He's like basically,
a la carte. You want an a la carte dad. Like,
bro.
A la carte. Which I was. I was an a la carte dad, but I was above and beyond. But cool, please.
Well, I mean, I don't know. As far as
another nigga up, like, oh, let this nigga be. You want to sign? You want me to sign somewhere? Cause that nigga be his daddy.
That's why. Dude, this is why we spoke about what do you consider child support? What is it for? Right? And we said it was for the basic necessities.
Yeah.
And if the basic necessities are covered, right?
Yeah.
Like, yo.
That shit go the fucking new nigga. Pardon me, cool. I actually didn't check, but I'm gonna finish up. The new nigga that she fucking gets reimbursed for what he's spending on your fucking kid. Yes.
No, you don't.
Cool. Interject, please.
I don't know. You kind of took it further than where
you want to play stepdaddy, then you play stepdaddy.
Yeah, you want to play stepdaddy, but
play stepdaddy.
You want to be trans daddy now.
Well, I definitely don't want no stepdad. Yo, see, I don't know, man. I feel like what you lay forth as a man is what happens with the rest of everything else.
I get you a can, man. You too cool, man. Her, the camera for you.
Her barking on him the way she's barking on him, if I had to just take it for face value, it's probably because the nigga might have been dishonest in some other situations. That's one.
She mad,
aspect, right?
She mad.
She mad about maybe the nigga was messing with too many biddies, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe he wasn't giving the money. Maybe
she had a little chain he had on.
Maybe he was funny with the money, so she had to do child. Like I told you, you into child support. I kind of feel like for one or two reasons. Either like one, you're not dependable. A person doesn't see you dependable enough to where I can just count on.
I make sure you paying.
I gotta make sure. I gotta
get somebody involved to make you
kick
kick
in. Because if I don't, you know what I'm saying, that's where I believe it comes from. Or two, you just messed up the relationship so bad that a person doesn't have a compassion for you and what you can do. And once again, it's kind of like feelings controlling both. Both lanes. So him, especially him not going back and forth, I'll go to jail versus the, things like that are just.
You got two people trying to spite each other.
That's
right?
what it really looks.
And
that's what it really
first,
looks like.
If I'm the stepdad, if I'm the new husband, that shit would not go down. That
like we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna argue about.
No,
this.
I'm not gonna let my wife argue with her baby pops over. If I got
over
bread like that,
over some money,
over some little money, right? Because she called him a bum, right? So evidently that child support is probably nothing, right? And if we got it, why are you sitting there arguing with this nigga over the little money?
That's something they got to work out.
No, it is, but bro, I'd be like, yo, you giving that dude that much energy over the money he giving?
That's what a lot of people don't want to mess with women with children, because there's a third person in their relationship now. Now you got to have her blood pressure up high. She don't want to give you no pussy tonight because she mad at another nigga.
We got to be accountable for our decisions. If you make the decision to move on with somebody that has prior situations, that's the shit you got to deal with. Yeah. Right? So I don't feel like, bro, yeah. What is that? Oh, yeah.
I just put up an important post where I said, men don't like BBLs. Men are just sexually attracted to naked women. And women with BBLs just tend to be the most naked. Now, mind you, I didn't even say attracted for real. I said sexually attracted. Women are often poke at men and say men will hit anything. And to a certain extent, it's kind of true. But just because we desire to have sex with a woman doesn't mean we desire to actually be with that woman. Sadly, it doesn't even mean that we like her. A lot of times we just be looking at free breast and booty while simultaneously overlooking all the things we don't like, and then the things we don't like end up being the things that women think we do like. Oh, they must like that kind of outfit. They must like the way she acting. Nah, she just naked. Oh, her likes done went up since she had her breast surgery. Yeah, but she also wasn't showing us all that before she had her breast surgery. Whether the body is real or fake, thick, skinny, or in between, when it comes to free booty and breast online, we gonna like them pics regardless. It don't mean we actually like you.
What we think?
down the man dynamic on social media perfectly. It's not really like, you know, the whole liking thing. I don't know. I don't really do the whole liking thing, but like you see women on social media, and it's the new King magazine. Like it's the new magazine. Like it's the new, you know, Playboy magazine or something like that. You can flip through it. Like men like to look at.
Shout out King Magazine.
Right. Maxim.
Straight stunting.
Maxim had a little
K-Slay.
straight stunting. No, but
Rest
straight
in
stunting
peace,
was a little
K-Slay.
bit more recently. You know what I mean?
but I'm just
Straight
saying.
stunting celebrating the BBL a lot too.
You know, I'm just saying.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Shout out to K.
I feel like I never had I never copped straight stunting. I kind of grew out that stage by then, but yeah, just men like to just look at free ass and titties. Like it is what it is. There's nothing involved in it. There's no love. It's just part of man nature. You know what I mean? As far as the men don't care for BBL, yeah, nah. We've kind of spoken about this a couple of times, but with the BBLs, it's I don't know. It's like it's still sex workerish. It's still like, yo, if you got that, like, you know, I feel like eventually you're gonna sell pussy.
Really?
I don't know.
I think it's
because you promoting it. Like, all right, if you driving around with a for sale sign on your car, people gonna ask you if they're gonna buy it, right? I feel like a BBL is driving around with your vehicle with a for sale sign in the back.
Well, I think at this point it's become so common. Like I told you before, man. Now I do a lot more work in the boroughs, and I'm in Queens and Brooklyn, and you see your average women, like, and I mean average as far as like they're not doing sex work. You could be the mail lady got a BBL. The woman that works at the freaking restaurant or something like that, BBL. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's.
But you don't know if she got an OnlyFans that night.
No, you don't. But I think that, of course, it's all about attention seeking, you know, or fixing your
way
insecurities.
Niggas got podcasts, women got fucking. Same way men got a roadcaster and a couple of mics and the fucking cameras, the way they clown us.
Mm-hmm.
Same way they got fucking BBLs and fucking OnlyFans.
I don't know if I would agree with that. Like, I don't think all the women that I don't think the majority of women that have got the work done have OnlyFans, right?
I'm just saying this on the table because you already did the paperwork for it.
But
I judge women that got BBLs. A woman that got a BBL can't kind of, you know, you're not really wifey material.
Faking Jacks?
No?
Faking Jack?
Can't be?
Listen, I really get to know you, and you got to really have a good story. Maybe your body was super trash before I met you, but to go that far, to have cosmetic surgery, to get your ass, like, you're getting your sexual parts enhanced. You know what I mean? Like, you're retracting a certain kind of attention. It ain't like, yo, you fixed your nose to look prettier, or you did some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't think it's all based on insecurity though? Like, if you get a nose job, it's like, all right, you didn't feel so secure about your nose, so you want to get a job done.
Some people have fucked up noses though.
Yeah. Some people got fucked up breasts and they got flat asses, and they want to fix it. So
it makes it more palatable to nigga to fuck them.
Yeah, I think it's
the ass
all
is only to fuck on.
I think it's definitely all about attention, right? And it, like dude said on the video, it doesn't attract the right attention most times.
Not at all.
I think there's a mental aspect of this whole thing. Like, of course, like I said, this is dealing with insecurities in women, and just because you fix it, I think when they get the shit done, it's more or less like if you bought a new car or something like that, you got a new pair of shoes or some shit. It's nice and fresh that first couple weeks, that first month or whatever, but after a while, it kind of get old, and what's not fixed inside the head is still there. You know what I mean? And then I think that it's so readily available now that you're not really, most women are not standing out anyway, because a lot of people have it these days. Yeah. And everybody's just looking for a little bit more attention, man. I think that's what it is. But I think men do like the style of the BBL, right? That the model BBL, like the plump butt and the tight waist and all that. Like, I think dudes really like that look. And
well, it's an exaggerated form of the women's anatomy, of the sexual part of the women's anatomy. So, started from what Melissa Ford and like Ketoy, like those first video vixens with the fat asses, and it kind of went into that.
Yeah.
It kind of morphed into that. And then Kim Kardashian kind of came around, and she kind of took it through the roof. You know what I mean?
Do you think most men feel like they wouldn't take a chick that got a BBL serious as far as like wifey material?
I feel like I'm married, so I speak from a place of privilege, but I feel like initially, like, we're gonna be honest, sexuality always attracts a man to a woman first.
No, sexuality attracts a man to a woman to have sex, but to marry,
Well,
I'm talking
that's
about
what
marriage
gets her
and
into the door.
relationship.
Well, once you get to know her and you know her values, that's the thing. I'm talking from a place, I'm talking from high up on a hill.
So do you feel like women that do have BBLs, their moral standard or their ethics are...
They're shortchanging their selves. Because even if they are a good woman and they have all those qualities, you still walking around with all that. You still got to walk around like an Avenger. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, regular clothes don't really fit you well, so you got to wear those tight-fitting clothes everywhere you go. And now a man who really digging you got to fucking deal with being ass police. He got to police your ass everywhere he go. You know what I mean? Niggas just constantly on you, looking at your ass, because he know for sure you selling it. Because why you got that shit? Like, why you got that shit? Why you got all that and you not selling? Like, I can't give you $150 for that. Like, it doesn't make sense to, like, rational men. Like, you selling your pussy because you got that.
I just feel like you get with a woman that does have that work done, the attention that you give her is not going to be enough. She did that to get more validation and affirmation from other people, from the general public.
It's mental illness. And it's another byproduct from the Lotto video, that poisoning of the pool that a lot of these, entertainers now are doing to the female culture. You know what I mean? We started this episode saying that hip hop is the culture. Every prominent female artist right now got a BBL. Except like maybe Lotto. Maybe let's go. Maybe the little skinny minis, Coy
Lorraine.
Shorty, from New York, Lola, and the other one from Glow. They don't got no BBLs, you know what I mean? But everybody else got the, Nicki Minaj was the biggest female artist for years. And she walked around with that fucking bumblebee butt for years. And that influenced everybody. That was the beauty standard. Poison the well. Like, and hopefully, you find a good woman who hasn't been poisoned by that. You find her young enough where she don't take that tax return and go put $5,000 into the ass cheeks. You know what I mean? But, yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Men judge women with BBLs, man. They sex workers to us. You know what I mean? Real niggas. You know what I mean?
Man. So, you put it like that?
Sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Ooh, you. I got you, brother. What up? Ron went to use the potty for a minute.
Use the can.
Yeah. What up, my boy?
GB, what's going on, man? What's happening out here, man?
Ain't nothing.
Y'all out here, man, sparkly on this, August night.
Yeah, we out here. Beautiful night, man.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Man? Yo, Shows, man. You've been seeing a lot of shows lately, right?
Yeah, a couple.
How you feeling about what I've been noticing is that there's been a lot of artists standing solo on stage. There's not a lot of hype man around lately.
No,
Gone are the
man.
days of Spliff Star. Gone are the days of Memphis Bleak. Give me another good hype man. Give me some more.
Well, you know, there's the king of all hype, man. You didn't even mention him.
Who that?
But you know now 50 using Yayo still.
Yayo, okay. Oh, Yayo's out with 50 right now?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
sure.
okay,
Uncle,
okay. So that's
Uncle
a throwback.
Murder. Uncle Murder.
Uncle Murder.
Uncle Murder found his way on that train.
Okay.
I don't know
Oh,
how.
wait. Is Uncle Murder or Yayo out with 50 right now? Who's out with 50 right now?
Yayo and Uncle Murder.
Oh, they double duty in it.
Right.
Nice.
Are on stage with 50 when he performs.
Yes.
And the last
But-
couple places I saw 50 at, yeah, it was the
Okay.
last place I saw 50 at. They were there.
Drake is out there, Dolly.
Drake is Dolly.
Kendrick has been out there, Dolly.
Kendrick is Dolly.
When Cole go out there, he's Dolly. A lot of people has been out there,
A
Dolly.
lot of people are Dolly. I don't think
What
they're.
do you
yeah.
prefer? Do you prefer the hype man show, or you prefer the solo act on there by himself?
I don't know. At this stage, I kind of like the Dolly mission.
You like it, Dolly?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Why so?
Well, because, you know, people
Kanye never had a hype man ever.
people like Spliff Star are rarities.
Are they a distraction?
No, not Spliff Star.
Okay.
But he is a over part of the show. He's there, you know. Strangely, Spliff Star has the magic of what it takes. And okay, now
I thought Bleak was good too.
Bleak wasn't bad, but was Bleak? He didn't last that long as a hype man.
He didn't last that long because I honestly feel Jay-Z was the first person I've seen on stage
Like
by himself.
Dolly?
Yeah. Maybe Nas. Nas used to bring jungle out a little bit.
Nas has been Dolly a lot.
Yeah. But I feel like there's been like now it's like the artist by himself.
The art of the hype
Or-
man is definitely
He's definitely dying.
well. Where the hype man is an intricate part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who like, you know, go on stage like in bigger venues. They'll have a hype man to kind of accentuate the words of the person. They're there for that purpose.
Gotcha.
Right? When I get to the bar, I know that I'm gonna be a little tired right here, so I need y'all to kind of
Yeah.
say this part right
They
here,
use
so I
the
can
crowd
just
like that now.
right. But now I think a lot of artists are Dolly and come with dancers and stuff like that. But not the hype
last
man.
part of it, the last part of it, I feel like the con of not having a hype man is rapping with the radio track on it.
Oh well, no, that's a
I feel like that's terrible. I'd rather hear Yayo, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you, man, that is
Barring every other line rather than hearing a radio track.
rapping over the music is like. But you know, I'm
I feel
not
like
gonna lie.
that's terrible.
A lot of the ladies, their voices don't carry that well outside of a studio.
Right.
Because remember, in the studio, you're really close to the mic. The volume is really, really high.
Yeah.
And they're compressing it and making your voice sound bigger. When you step out there in front of thousands of people, your shit is not built for that. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's a whole different aspect. So
Right.
that's why a lot of them will rap over the tracks. Then they're punching in too. A lot of these rappers they're doing it line for line in the studio.
Right.
So when you think about us, niggas used to get in there and at least do 10 bars without a punch.
Right.
I punched in because I fucked up, and it's like, all right, you start me from there. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they will do line for line for line. So now they're not used to rapping the like I think about showing up to the studio with the raps already memorized. And I would just go in there and just, you know what I'm saying? Spit it one time through, basically. No, that art of that is dead. So that's why you're gonna get them rapping over the tracks or whatever.
I want to hear what you thought
Yeah,
about that.
little quick sidebar.
Yeah.
in the midst, in the break
Let's go to
time.
the next topic.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to. We were still at 7, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not. This one doesn't really have any.
Let's just take it day by day. We got to keep it honest when you're miles away. I guess that makes it harder, but it's not to say that I don't think. Let's just take it day by day. We got to keep it honest when you're miles away. I guess that makes it harder, but it's not to say that I don't think. Let's just take it day by day. We got to keep it honest when you're miles.
Okay. You could give some context to this one, GB.
Sent it over. I felt like it was nice and healthy. I feel like this was this is one of those things where they overdid it, but I feel like there are healthy aspects of this that can play into a healthy relationship or marriage. They basically said that they have weekly meetings about their marriage, and they discuss stuff like finances, trips, and their schedules and all those things. I feel like a weekly meeting is overkill, but I feel like every month or at the least every season, a good sit down over dinner and just really have a goal of really communicating on what your goal is and what, and kind of collaborate in that with your wife is extremely healthy.
Do you do it?
Not as much as I. Not as much as I want.
No,
I might do it
definitely.
every. Honestly, we do in the spurts, but I would say like every about six months, we kind of sit down and really trying to pestle it out. And I feel like a lot of it is done in passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to like sit down and that's the actual goal, maybe about 6 months go by. At least twice a year.
Yeah. Definitely start talking about certain things during tax time. But yeah, probably and same here. Like as far as in passing, but looking at the way they had it structured and the way they were doing certain things, I think that's super important, right?
Yeah.
Just to discuss your finances and as far as if you guys are still aligned as far as the business side of marriage. There's a new show on Netflix. I'm not sure what the name is. My wife is getting into it. It's like I Want to Be Rich or something like that.
I love it.
And
I saw it. I saw like the first 3 episodes of it. I think I spoke to you about it a little bit.
Yeah, and my
Have
wife.
you watched any of it?
I watched a tad bit of it before I went to bed last night, but my wife has been watching.
What couple did you see?
I saw the 2 white gay guys.
I didn't get that.
Oh, okay. But it's basically like it shows that a lot of couples, they don't really communicate when it comes to finances and shit. No. You know what I mean?
No.
Like people like hiding stuff when it comes to finances, credit.
On that show, there was a black couple.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked dude. Dude was cool. He didn't really remind me of myself, but he kind of reminded me because they had children, and he was married to his wife, of course, and he was just he was a gamer, so he was a gamer and he was a sneakerhead.
Mm-hmm.
So he liked to buy sneakers and he liked to buy games. He just couldn't, and their goal was to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
And he just couldn't turn it off, And I feel like that conversation needs to be having that show lent a level of transparency. It was almost like an intervention for him and be like, yo, fam, we're not gonna take it to the next level unless you clean this thing up. You know, I figured it out without an intervention, but there's certain things and certain splurging habits that, as a man, and if you're gonna be the breadwinner to say, or you know, you want to be the leader of your family, you got to have certain things in order to take your family to the next level.
Finances, it's a difficult thing to talk about, though.
It's weird.
You know what I mean?
It's weird.
It may seem weird because we make it weird, right? Well, you just got to get comfortable with it. What do you mean? This is the person you're sleeping with every night. Like how much more personal?
During tax return time, and I gotta give up all my bank. Like when we was buying a house, it's like it's so invasive because everybody can see everything. Like you can see your whole debit. Your debit card is who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a weird, especially if you're not living the way you purport yourself to be living. You know what I'm saying? Like you spend that much money on that, word, all right. Like you spend that much money on those, okay? Like maybe you don't want to wake up in the morning, you know, and get the sneakers when they first drop at 10 o'clock and get them retail. And you just like, you're a StockX guy. You're going to spend the extra $150 for the sneakers and stuff like that. Like you look a little nasty in the light, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yo, I heard you say it. You were the first one to really say it. Like you feel like you should run your household like a corporation, and in any business, you know, making sure the books are straight is very important. You got to see how much is coming in, how much is going out, where you can cut costs, where you could do better in. So.
Because there was such a level, that was the first time I ever worked for a big corporation. I've either worked for myself or I worked for like a mom and pop. With the corporation, there was such a level of transparency to the goal. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we want to be. This is where we have to be. This is where we project us to be. Projections. And the whole thing that like you are supposed to be better than you were last year. Like there's an expectation that you're gonna be better than you were last year. You know, and putting that in the world, you know, and that's what kind of like sparked for us and that was like two years ago, maybe like around like New Year's. You know what I'm saying? And I was getting all these emails like, all right, yo, you did this for us last year, big nigga, but next year we need that and some change, you know what I mean? We some chips on that dip, you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, I'm up to that task, and I feel healthy about it, you know what I mean? And maybe we could bring that into the family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a little over. I think weekly. I don't think it's
over. I don't think it's overdoing it because you got to think about it. Most people, they get paid on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. Right. So as money comes in, you should really sit down and figure out what's going to happen with that money that comes in.
Okay.
Right. So because a lot of the times when
weekly feels a little bit more like micromanaging though. There's a nuance to it. Everything that's good.
If you're serious about your financial success, it's not going to be overkill. You know what I mean?
There's a little bit of finesse and grace that goes into a relationship as well too.
I get it, but
you know what I mean, if she sees everything that comes into you, that comes in and out, and you have everything purported for, how are you supposed to surprise her for that with that tennis bracelet for her anniversary?
No, I think that you could start weekly and then scale it back. But because the reason why I say that is because I feel like most people discuss financial things with their partner in passing, right?
Yeah,
and
in passing.
They talk about dreams and goals, like sort of like on a whim in a sense, right? We don't really sit down and strategize on how we're going to accomplish those goals and those dreams.
You get that hot rag, you be like, yo, man, we thinking about starting that business we talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Remember that turkey sandwich that you made a little earlier, a little half of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I always say to my wife, right? So being self-employed, like when it's tax time, my accountant has like a planner, like a tax planner, right? So she makes she makes me go through all my receivables and all my costs, right? So most bank statements will have it broken down, but then I just go through about and see how much I spent on certain things, like whether it be gas, whether it be truck maintenance, whether it be, whatever it is, right? And I say to myself every time, like, I need to be looking at this on a monthly or monthly basis, not just at the end of the year when everything is done. Right? I probably could have saw that I was running at a deficit in this area, and I could have kind of nipped it in the bud earlier. You understand what I mean?
Because if you catch it now,
exactly,
you can tighten up the belt in certain areas and spend in certain areas, and like, yo, listen,
absolutely. So when the more you take looks at it, and the more you talk about it and you discuss it, the better you guys are gonna be in the future.
One thing I didn't see on that was scheduling sex. I feel like scheduling sex is healthy as well too.
That shit is corny.
Scheduling sex? Nah, listen, dog. Yo, listen. If two people on two different wavelengths, scheduling sex could be important. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we can't go on.
I'm fucking with you. I know you. That's why I said it's corny, because I'm fucking with you, because I know you're on a different schedule. Like, you work overnight and shit like that. So you might have to do that.
Nah, I'm just saying, like, period, though. Even if you're not, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, listen, like, we could live on the men and women have different expectations of sex, of each other. You know what I mean? Having at least a baseline, I feel like is healthy. You know what I mean? We could all wait on it happening
of the amount of times, a baseline of how many times you're gonna have it,
or when you're gonna have it. A lot of married men complain about the frequency of sex that they have. I feel like the biggest disconnect of men and women having sex is women feel like it's a chore and men feel like it's a necessity. So I feel like women feel like if they had a hard week or they had a long week or they're running around with the kids and everything like that, we could bypass it for this week or whatever, or whatever. We could just cut it down to how many other times, you guys have sex. But I feel like if the man was like, yo, listen, Tuesday, Thursday, I need that, or like Tuesday, Friday, you know what I mean? If you just set that baseline, at least it's set.
I think that's a letdown. You're setting yourself up for a letdown.
Well, she knows that she's falling short at least.
Again, accountability.
Okay.
You think a woman's gonna be like, oh, yo, you know what? You're right. I'm falling short. I was supposed to have sex with you Tuesday, but I didn't. She's gonna be like, yo, I did this. I had to take the kids this. Yo, that's why. That's why I didn't have sex with you on Tuesday.
Right.
She ain't gonna be like.
But at least you setting that, like, yo, you know I need it too. You know the car need gas in it. You gonna drive that shit to work. Good luck. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you might not make it. You might not make it to work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, cool, I'm off? Oh, that shit wavering, right?
Yeah.
Cigars Whiskey in the wind, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure.
Go.
Like,
It's
as far as I guess you can still keep some spontaneity into the sex life also, even if you're scheduling certain things. But I guess in the meantime,
we'll go to the last. Yeah, we'll go to the last clip and then we'll
fix it up. But huh? Oh yeah. I think you can still keep spontaneity, but I think scheduling, it's like a lot of times I feel like you be setting yourself up for a letdown. You know what I mean? I just
say communication is key in everything.
If
you
is.
Communicate something, at least your other person knows what your expectations of them are. I feel like that's the baseline for success. We're building a business. We have meetings twice a week?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like communication is clear. We both know where we're going. Cool is completely in the mix. He knows exactly where we're going. Everybody's clear on everybody's direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It can't hurt in interjecting that into your home life and into your sex life.
I hear you, but
No surprises.
you say it's no
Minimize surprises.
Okay.
Always surprises.
Okay. All right. Do you start to schedule like the amount of time you have sex?
That
Like
gets a little crazy.
Like
that gets a little crazy.
I don't know. I just
Yeah, nah.
and it's like, yo, how do you approach that? Right? It's Tuesday. Tuesday comes up and it's like, all right, yo, I'm home. Like we had sex scheduled for today.
Yeah, it should
Are
be
we gonna
ready. It should
Are we
be-
gonna do it
it
now
should be
or
us- listen?
should I-
A lot of men. All right. Let's take it back one step. A lot of men depend on sex on spontaneity, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's childish
Mm.
to expect sex in a marriage on spontaneity. Is a little childish. Like,
How's that childish?
It's childish to think that your wife is still gonna be the freak that you met her at when she was faking it.
Why she gotta be a freak?
'Cause she was faking it to get with you, same way you was faking to be down one. Now we all have a lot more on our plate, and we're all a lot more busier. Let's just talk about it and just be like, instead of just having these false expectations and these expectations of who we think each other are, let's just set it up. You come on like, yo, I need it 3 times next week. You be like, yo, 3, big nigga? Yo, I got study for this test. Yo, maybe 2. You know what I mean? You come to an agreement, and then you know what I mean? And then you take it from there.
No.
It doesn't, like,
That's
it
a
sounds
difference,
very
though.
transactional and very sterile.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's a lot more realistic to be like, oh, baby, is your pussy wet tonight?
Yo, you said being spontaneous is childish.
Why don't you just give me head on the way home from the restaurant? Like, a lot of niggas still think like that. A lot of men, 40-year-old
What do you
men
do? I'm
still
saying,
feel
all right,
like, yo,
so you
yeah,
don't-
why she ain't jerk me off on the way back from hibachi? Like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't work like that. Let's just schedule your jerk off on the way home from hibachi.
You schedule that?
No, I
you
don't.
schedule
That's a little
that?
too personal for me, sir.
No. I'm just saying. No,
I ain't telling you everything on this shit.
you schedule stuff like that? Like, yo, I need a whack off on Monday. Like Monday at 6. Like, how about a hand job? Like, you're not gonna do that.
I feel like if you set the baseline, your basic minimums are fed, and it leads to a healthy level of spontaneity.
I think that when you set expectations, right? It's like, it's weird because you're saying like it's supposed to help you out, but you're setting expectations, right? For the amount of times your wife should have sex with you, right? Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't live up to those times, you're gonna be disappointed.
Oh yeah. The next meeting gonna be a little spicy. we're gonna break out the chalkboard like, yo.
And you think going forward it makes it better, right?
That sound back there.
No, yo, you think it makes it better? Like, it makes it rigid, like a job. Like, oh, here's your performance review, right? We were supposed to have sex 3 times a week, 12 times out of the month. We only did it 7 times. You missed 5 times. Like, what's up with that? Like, are you reprimanding her?
Not so much. I don't think it'll come to a reprimand, but I feel like, it's such a healthy baseline. It starts a conversation where,
and it seems one-sided though.
It's awkward for a lot of. It's awkward for
it
a,
seems
for,
one-sided
for a lot of men.
It seems one-sided. Like when you do that, and then the man is scheduling. Now I could see if.
But it's not a man scheduling it. You guys are scheduling it.
All right, because the way you were making it as if like, yo, I need sex this amount of times. We need to carve these out, right?
Like,
it's not.
Listen, like, this is the baseline for when you schedule intimacy.
No.
Like,
no.
We're going to dinner this
both parties.
night. Yo, we got this. Yo, Ron and Michelle invite us to this night. Yo, boom. We're going to have this babysitter. Boom. Yo, you think after that, you know what I mean? Like, yo, yo, pencil that in, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's healthy, man. I don't know. You know,
All right, I'm saying it works. It
schedule
works.
it. Put
It
it on
works.
the map.
It
That
works
sounds
for certain
crooked as
people.
fuck.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fix it.
Yeah.
We roll next clip. Cigars and Whiskey.
To fit in. And they're looking around for ways to connect to other kids. What do we have in common beside our address? Maybe it's hair color or eye color. Maybe it's language. Maybe it's anime. Maybe it's gender or music. And that's all fine when they're young. But as they develop pre-adolescence, when they start really seeing themselves and trying to figure out who they are, or who they're becoming, becomes a little more complicated. Because they start noticing certain dynamics. And they start feeling marginalized. Always on the fray of a thing, but not in the mix of it. Sleepovers where other moms know each other better than your mom know any of the moms. Because they hang out. Or they go to the same synagogue or the same church. And then there's the biases, conscious or unconscious. I mean, your kid might be really good at the sport, but the dads that hang out together kind of look alike, and so they tend to pick each other's kids as top kids on the team. Or your daughter or son never gets a solo in a dance performance, and you don't want to pull out the race card and say that's it. But you might feel it in the pit of your stomach, though. And if you don't have a community for your child, the struggle is real. Because they really feel alone, fighting for their lives, trying to figure out who they are. Self-loathing starts. They just want to fit in. You know, one of the things I noticed is when I went back home to the hood, and yeah, the area looks depressing, the buildings are dilapidated or whatever, but going into the store, there is a real sense of community amongst my own that I didn't notice before. Like the way that we just organically talk to each other in the aisles, calling each other baby, ma'am, sir, honey. Like, if my boys were walking around in the store in the hood, somebody else's mom is gonna call them baby. Baby, can you pick that up for me? Honey, can you get that over there? Ain't nobody in Wegmans calling my sons baby or honey. And it's a subtle thing, I get it, but it's connection, and it builds a sense of community in ways that you don't even think about, because if you're in mostly white spaces, white kids are getting that all day because they look like somebody else's son or daughter or nephew. And so they may be getting that kind of constant nurturing within their community from random strangers all the time. And so they're in a community that's constantly building their self-esteem, constantly encouraging them in some way. And I got a bone to pick with other black moms in these communities. Like, if you're in the suburbs, and there's about 3-4 of us in a huge community, we're just peppered into the neighborhood, why aren't we speaking to each other? What is with the wave and keep walking if we do? Because other ethnicities unapologetically get together in the playground, on the corners, start hanging out together. I think we're afraid to look like we're about to start an uprising. I'm just gonna say it. Raising kids in the suburbs where you're the minority is some bull. And I get the goal is to have the best opportunities, the best school, the best education. But honestly, at what cost? Because while as a parent you're worrying about their academics and opportunities,
What we think, GB?
I feel like strong message. All right. I feel like it's a strong message. I don't know. I saw that video and it just kind of didn't resonate with me so much. But yeah, it did resonate with me a lot. Cause all right, I grew up in I was born in Flushing. Okay. I was born in Flushing, moved to Long Island, but when I first came out here, my parents put me in a private school, Our Lady of Lords, and I was one of the 2 black kids in a 20-kid class. and I didn't have a problem fitting in, but I felt like other members of my family had problems fitting in. But in the neighborhood, we were fine, you know. And just
in the neighborhood, though.
In the neighborhood, and that's the juxtapose to what she was saying. She was talking about a community as opposed to a neighborhood. You know, I feel like black people aspire to live in certain neighborhoods, but they don't take account of what the community is. The community is the glue that keeps people together. The interactions and the talking to the other kids and to raising other kids and
like they live there, but they're not part of the community in a sense.
If they live in the neighborhood, yeah. And you know, I feel like a lot of people of color aspire to move into neighborhoods that don't really reflect what they look like, but they don't really take account for what that means for their kids with that lack of community.
For most black people, man, white is right, man. Yeah. So I get what she's saying, man. It's a huge social aspect of all of that.
Yeah.
We try not to put our we try not to put our what's the words the word I'm looking for? Our insecurities about like racism and stuff, like we try not to push that on our kids because children are innocent, you know what I mean? And just because we've gone through something doesn't mean they're gonna go through something. But I feel like a lot of times you always have those moments where you may realize like you kicking it with certain people, you be like, oh yeah, I'm not like y'all. You know what I mean? I'm really not like y'all. Yeah. There'll be a moment where, you know, it'll be known, right? As much as you try to fit in and as much as you try to get acclimated to the community and, you know, you want to be a part of it, a lot of times it may just never happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you really don't have a choice in the matter. Some people may take to you, especially, you know, in certain communities, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to take to you.
What does a community mean to you? Like, what's the difference between a community and neighborhood to you?
I really don't see a difference, or I don't think there's a difference between a neighborhood and well, community is neighborhood is where you live, but I think community is the people.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
And if the community and if people have a shared interest, like shared religion or shared sports interest, or saying like this is a baseball community, this is a football community, or like like, you know, go to the same mosque or to the same church or to the same synagogue. That intertwines people a little deeper than just saying hi and bye.
Yeah, absolutely.
In front of your house, you know what I mean? Like you get to really know your neighbors and who you're living with, and your interests align. And when your interests align, I feel like you become fabric. That's where cloth comes from. You know what I mean? So there's a certain cloth that you come from. Even living in Lakeview, like we know each other because we lived in the same community. You know what I'm saying? Our interests align. Like we've known each other since high school. You know what I'm saying? I think community is very important with people, and I feel like when people, she was. I felt like her pain came from. She wasn't the happiest with the community that she grew up with, but at least she had one. And I feel like the lack of community that her kid is growing up with is what's hurting her at this point, and what is feeling like the kid is missing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got you to this better zip code. I got you in this better school district. I got you here. But we are really not aligning right now, you know? And it's like, some of it is her, you know? I've raised kids 2 different times.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one that I did it, and I'm out the paint, and I've got one that I'm in now. And the 2 things that are aligned is in private school, you kind of have to be cool with the parents a little bit. You got to kind of be like cordial with the parents a little bit more than cordial. Like they're going to invite you to things, and you're going to want to go because that's going to keep your kids in the circle of being invited to their kids' parties. Like the kids are going to be friends too, but everybody's going to be friends. Everybody's going to be cool, but there's a certain level of community there too. Like there's a community that you have to play a part in for your kids. Are there people that you know just for your kids? Come on, I don't mind. We talking, baby. Yeah, we talking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, there are people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's part of the community. Like there's certain people you're only gonna know because of your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids play good with this other kid,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm kind of cool with this kid's parent because I just kind of wanna. I like this kid with my kid, and we're just gonna keep rocking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what community is. You know what I mean? And that's where she felt like other black parents in that community were falling short because they were in the good graces of the majority. They didn't really want to get her in and get her into the graces. And maybe it's her. Maybe she's too militant. Maybe she like, yo, why don't got no fried chicken at the shit? I don't know. We black. Why don't got no Frank's hot sauce?
I feel like most
you know what I mean? Like
most of us feel like we could be the only one. Like we could be we got to be the only one. Like it's only room for one person of color in certain communities, and it can't be multiples. And I just don't understand why we don't feel like our shit is good enough.
Cause it's not. Look at fucking rest in peace to Gilly the kid's son.
Mm-hmm.
You can make all the money in the world, come up with deals, got a new Maybach, get a new freaking Mercedes every week. If you keep your kid in a bad neighborhood, it's detrimental to your kid. Your kid might be harmed in that neighborhood. Like there's a reason why people wanted to get people their children into better places.
Okay. All right. No. All right. So a lot of the times we would rather move to a neighborhood that doesn't look like us versus moving to a better neighborhood that has us there.
Yeah.
And
this is the thing. I think maybe because a lot of that is us not wanting to spend the energy to transform a neighborhood, and it's much easier to conform than transform.
Talk about it.
No, that's very true. You know, a lot of us are not going to be like the second coming of Martin Luther King and changing the world, not like that.
Right.
But I've seen I feel like a lot of even decent like minority neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Minorities will overlook those in order to aspire to live in a white neighborhood because it's they feel like it's better.
End up talking into the camera for 5 minutes like old girl did. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
I think a lot of us people, black folks that do well, that do okay, or do well, a lot of them that's the goal.
Yeah.
They don't aspire to stay in their neighborhoods. They aspire to leave. Right? They want to move to the other side of town. Like and it's not like they want to move to just a better neighborhood that's for people that look like black folks.
Right.
They want out.
I think, and I want to know if you agree, I'm going to say a statement, who you are where you live in your formative years, I'm going to say between 11 to maybe 17 shapes who you are?
I think those are formative years, but I don't think it totally shapes you. Like, because you said 11 to 17.
Yeah.
You haven't. I don't know if you fully reached like adulthood, and I think there's certain things at the beginning of adulthood that do shape you also. Mm-hmm. So,
well, the formative years are the years that form you, that form your conceptions and
I think it's longer than from 11 to 17. I think it goes a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Because even early adulthood, I feel like there's a certain responsibility of you and there's a certain struggle that you understand that you're going to be in. But when things were like peachy and things were like on easy street and things were being financed for you, I feel like those years are the years where you could just live life, and those are the years where you're soaking in the most because you don't have that expectations of paying for things in adulthood. Like, and those are what really forms your character, which brings it back to the black parents who want to move their kid because maybe they look at those years like straight struggle, but they don't see the love in those years. Maybe one or two of their childhood friends got killed. Maybe a couple of their childhood friends went to jail. But that love of the community and that tight-knitted, I'm not saying that you shouldn't move by any means, but you shouldn't go to the extent of, moving around people who completely don't look like you. But then, if they were there first, how do we make those changes? Because when I moved to Lakeview, I was maybe like the third black person on my block.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It was white?
What? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's right. Yeah. My neighbors, like almost all my, well, maybe like 5.
Okay.
But for the majority, it was like 50-50 white. 50-50 white and black. You know what I mean?
They got out of there.
They died out or they got out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some were older and they died and some moved. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But no one was like young. And they showed us love. Everybody was there. My B lived across the street. She used to bring us a little Dunkin' Donuts. She went to Dunkin' Donuts. She used to bring us the little munchkins and all that. Her son played the drums. And then the old lady next door always gave us paintings on Halloween. You know what I mean? So we have, white people in our neighborhood. Yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But life, you know what I mean? Like, but don't you have any advice for anybody thinking like her?
Thinking like her. I think she was spot on, man. Cuz I think she thinks like most black folks, but then she's living off experience. I think based on what actually happened in her real life with her children, she's realizing like, all right, it's just not all about that, right? It's not all about like, okay, getting into this school district because I feel like they're gonna get better opportunities or something like that.
Right.
She realized it's a social aspect. Like who are gonna be their friends? What peer groups are they gonna be in?
Right.
Are they gonna be accepted by their peer groups?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they gonna feel like an outcast? Or are they gonna are they gonna be treated like the token black kid? Like, I think that
token black kid, man. I was a token black kid.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
It was cool. Yeah, I got picked first in basketball, and they all thought I could dance the best. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Do your kids play outside cool? Did your daughter play outside?
Does she play outside with me? Yes.
Okay.
There's I think there's like maybe a couple of kids. There's a couple of kids on the block.
Right.
But they're like right out of her range. Either they're
older,
like
younger?
Older or like younger.
Got you.
There's nobody. And
it's weird like that, right?
There was one little girl, I think that's around her age, and they cool. They take the bus and stuff like that. But I don't be seeing her. You know how Lakeview is. I don't be seeing her in off times.
It's not just Lakeview, it's everywhere.
I don't know where that little girl be at. You know,
Ron,
you
you could play outside?
But she
Carter,
definitely
Carter
play
knows
outside.
everybody.
Yeah, Carter plays outside, but he plays with one of the neighbors.
Really?
Um,
you got a neighbor friend?
Yeah.
Of course
yeah,
you would.
Yeah.
It's Carter.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he, right?
He's the most social guy. My daughter, she's to herself. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it's not a ton of kids on the block.
Yeah.
And it's not a ton of black kids on the block either.
Yeah, scooter over there. I bought scooters. I got two of them shits. I was like, all right, while I do the yard, like I see like sprinklings of kids going in the house. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get my kid the scooter. When I'm working in the yard in front, I'm gonna let her ride the scooter in the front to kind of like promote that there's a kid my age that lives here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She ain't want to get on that shit. I ended up riding that shit up and down. I'm like, yo, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like we want our kids to grow up like we did. And
I'm gonna say that my kid definitely has some of the pedigree that I had. Like she will go out. I've never. Oh God! Out of 10 times I've asked her, maybe one time out of 10 she'll be like, "Nah, I don't really feel like doing that."
Okay.
I could be like, "Yo, you want to go swing the bat?" She's like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go do it." Like you want to? We have the, the old school Velcro pad where you throw the ball.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
we call it sticky ball, but
that's
pause.
Cool. Yeah,
But
it's a good name.
yeah, that's what we've we've named it. If I say that, she'll drop the iPad. She'll drop the iPad in a second. Like, all right, fuck it, we out. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then she's like, like okay, I got her a scooter as well.
Like it's raining, nigga.
Got her a scooter as well. And so she went from the 3-wheel scooter now to the 2-wheel.
Big things
All right?
popping.
Okay.
The Razor. She's on Razor games now.
Yeah.
A little uncomfortable. I took her day after day to where she is like, all right, I'm good with it now.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own little game and, when whatever. But she fell for the first time off the scooter, right? And she went down, man, crying hard. So I'm like, all right, look, I'm not going to force you to keep going, but I'm going to make you ride this scooter to the car. If you want to quit, ride the scooter to the car. And
Yeah.
and I said, we'll call it quits for the day. But I wanted her to get back on the scooter and, like, ride it to just be like,
Not so bad, yeah.
it's not the end.
fucked up. Yeah.
It's not the end of the
I know
world.
about
You
it,
know what I'm saying? Like but we're gonna call it quits for the for the day. But yeah, no, she definitely has a lot of the tendencies where she'll go outside, play in the dirt, and in the grass. She wants to like lay out on the grass and under the tree, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's definitely like a nature girl.
We all
for
want
sure.
that sense of community. I think you just leaned on another point that what hurts a lot of kids' sense of community is that they're hurting their sense of community as far as kids because everything is a lot more online instead of like like we see that meme on Instagram all the time that with like a whole bunch of bikes on somebody's front lawn. We all knew where everybody was at when all the bikes were in front of somebody's house.
Yeah.
Like those were the things. But now everybody's just in the house playing with each other online. And I think that really hurts the real interaction.
As well as I think the parents not promoting it as much as they think they do. Some parents just want their kids to like do it. You know what I mean?
Like what? Do what?
Like, why are you not outside? You know what I mean?
I know.
But they weren't trained to be outside.
Yeah, we're trying to foster it and nurture it. And like, what about COVID? I'm like, nigga, COVID's not an excuse anymore. We're not going to do the COVID shit anymore. Like, no.
But, yeah, there's some parents that are equally to blame when it comes to, like, not forcing your kids to get outside.
Right.
Because, remember, it starts with you. It starts getting outside with you.
Yeah.
Or y'all, let's just say.
Right.
You guys.
Yes. The unit.
The unit, getting outside, being outside, no matter what it is. Somebody might be gardening, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is. Outside.
Like, yo, I'm in the front, man. I'm like, yo, I'm playing this whole shit out. Like, we gonna get on the scooters this weekend.
I got a question, GB.
I'm sorry, we going to park today.
Big sidebar.
What's up?
How are you with your kid, like, just walking around, though? Like, if your kid wanted to, the closest store is pretty close. No.
What, Dolly?
Yeah, Dolly
Like,
walked in.
hell no. Fuck, nigga. Man, fucking murderers and shit. Nigga, I watch fucking murderers and killers and shit. You see what happened to Carly? You seen the baby.
There you go.
I'm going to see a baby.
I rest my case.
Yeah, nigga, nah, nigga, come on, nigga. I'm one of them parents. I'm gonna fuck that nigga. All right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
supposed to step out with that nigga.
Yeah. All right. And with that, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Cigars and Whiskey. We want to shout out to our sponsor of the show tonight, Moods by Michelle Rose. She has our signature scent, the Cigars and Whiskey candle. Probably the best smelling candle, hands down. Easy. If you are a cigar smoker and you need some good scents to get that lingering smell out, it's like a tobacco to vanilla type of smell. Excellent. So you can go to her website and check it out, pick it up, pick up one, pick up two. She has a nice sale going on right now. movesbymichellerose.com. All right. It's the same handle as far as the Instagram is concerned. All right. If you don't follow us on Instagram, please do at Cigars Whiskey. That's Cigars with an S, Whiskey. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cigars and Whiskey Podcast. Cigars, the &sign Whiskey Podcast. Remember to like, share, and also subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so you know when we have new videos. If you have any questions, any comments, any recommendations, you want to recommend a cigar, a spirit, or even a topic, by all means, hit us up on social media or send us an email. If you have a product or a service you want to sponsor a show, shoot an email over at podcast@cigarswhiskey.com. Again, podcast@cigarswhiskey.com. And if you like the content that we're putting out and you want to show some support, you can do that via Cash App. It's the same as the Instagram, Cigars Whiskey. Cigars with an S, Whiskey. All right. Also, remember to check out our guy, super producer Corey Cool. Let him know what you got going on.
Yeah, man. Cool. Every Thursday, 9 to 10 p.m., I'm on WHPC, playing it cool. I got a pretty dope show when it comes to hip-hop, R&B, and, just how I feel for the day. What else is going on? I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting with a possible appearance on a new podcast called Nobody Cares About Father's Day. And the guys are talking, fatherhood in its entirety. So, I'm going to pop up and do a couple appearances there. I'm not even pressing record over there. I get a chance to just, just be talent a little bit. And I'm just gonna be here with these guys, man, talking cigars and whiskey, man. Nothing new. Same time, same place next week, man.
All right. Also, give a big shout out to Mr. Alert, Gene Alert, who gifted us with this bottle of the Mercer and Prince. Second time we had it. Excellent bottle of whiskey. If you haven't tried it, go pick it up at your local wine and spirits. I think it retails at about somewhere around $35 to $40.
Yeah, about $40.
All right. So, yeah, check that one out. And also the Cavalier Tres Delinquents. All right. Pick that up at your local tobacconist. All right. And with that, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Cigars and Whiskey. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.